Hello, everybody. Yeah. My moments with mom. Hi, you guys. My name's Jaclyn. I'm here alone today. Mom's not here because this video kind of just pertains to me. She doesn't really need to be here, but she is in the same room. Well, in the next room over, I should say. So from the title of this video, you know, I'm gonna talk about my driving test. I took it today, as you know, the same day I'm filming this video, obviously, and I passed my first try. It was really exciting. I was really glad. The whole drive to the DMV, like the whole way there, I was so nervous. I'm gonna tell you guys how my driving test went right from when I got there until the very end when I finished my test. I'm gonna try to make it pretty in-depth. So, you know, if you're gonna take your driving test for the first time, hopefully I can help you out, maybe give you some tips, you know, so you can pass your driving test. So when I got there, I didn't know that you had to go inside of the DMV before you got in the line of cars for the driving test, because on the side of the DMV, there's a line of cars and it says, for your driving test, line up here. So I'm thinking, oh, I'm assuming they have my name on a list, and when I get to the front of the line, you know, in my car, they're gonna, you know, see that my name's there for my appointment. And that's the other thing, you have to make an appointment at the DMV for your driving test. You can't just show up one day and expect to take your driving test. There's a separate line inside for people with an appointment, and there's one line, at least for the DMV I went to, there's one line for appointments, I don't know, maybe to renew your driver's license or other things like that. And then next to it is the appointment line for driving tests. So I went in that line. They called me pretty fast. There were only a few people in line. You have to bring your registration for your car, your insurance, your permit, and I think if you're under 18, you might have to bring some other stuff. You're gonna have to check on the DMV website. For me, I only had to bring those 3 things because I am over 18. So that's all I had to bring. They process everything, they give all that back to you, plus like another little sheet that's for your driving test instructor. You take that with you, you go back in your car, then you go to the line that's on the side of the DMV and wait in your car. Now when I got in that line, there were probably like 6 or more cars in line, so we did have to wait a while there because there were only 3 instructors doing the driving tests. I went with my mom, so you know, she was in the car with me, of course, until I got to the front of that line. So as people were leaving for their driving test, you know, they were leaving the line to go out into the street, the cars would pull up so they'd be in place when the next instructor came. A lady from inside of the DMV came out because I guess she was helping people pull up as close as they can get to the cars in front of them. She was trying to make room for the people behind us so, you know, we could get as close as possible. She's like, okay, go to this yellow line right here, like pull up, you know, right to the line. I'm going relatively slow because the car in front of me, you know, it looks close to the hood of my car. I can't really tell how close I am. So, you know, I'm proceeding with caution. I was very shocked by the comment that this lady at the DMV made to me. She said, come on, drive. If you go this slow on your driving test, you're not gonna pass. I thought that was a really rude thing to say to somebody that's taking their driving test. She probably, well, maybe she doesn't know. You would think that they'd know the people taking a driving test are nervous. So I felt like that was not a smart thing to say to someone that's gonna take their driving test, because that made me even more nervous than I already was. Of course I didn't say anything to the lady. I was just kind of laughing because, you know, what am I gonna say? That thing happened. Then the driving instructor came. You call them an instructor? I don't know. The person administering the test came to my car. I guess I can call them an examiner because it does say examiner on here. Luckily, I got a really nice examiner. It was a lady. She was really nice. You know, not overly, but she definitely didn't come across as rude. I think it depends who you get, because I feel like some people can be more lenient on the score they give you compared to others. So I think it all depends. So I will show you guys my score sheet because they do give it to you after you're done with your test. So that's really nice because you can look at it after and see, you know, what they marked. Before the test starts, they make sure that you know where everything is, you know, in your car, like on your dash. So they tell you, point to your windshield wipers, point to your headlights, like where you turn your headlights on, point to your defroster, your parking brake. I actually had to demonstrate how the parking brake worked. What else? Oh, you had to do your left blinker, your right blinker, and then as you're doing your blinkers, they'll walk around the car and make sure that your lights are working. I had to step on my brake, so she knows that the back brake lights work. They make you honk your horn, so they know your horn works. Oh, they make you do arm signals. So you do, this is my left arm, so right, like you're driving. So up is your right turn signal. Like that's if you want to turn right. Straight out to your left is your left signal. And then down like this is stop. So just so you know, I'm sure you could look it up on Google too, but those are the correct ways your arm should go, so you know. And then after that, they'll have you sign this little line at the top. That's just making sure you understand, you know, how many errors you can get to pass, you know, not to make any critical driving errors. So basically what that is if you even get one critical driving error, it's listed actually, the critical driving errors on the left of this sheet, which I'll show you. If you get even one of those, you fail your whole test. So don't get one of those. You can actually get 15 errors marked for the scoring maneuvers. That's what it says. So if you get 15 or less, you pass, which I feel like they give you, you know, room in the error department. You know, you could get quite a few errors and still pass your test. You must not have more than 3 errors for the pre-drive checklist. So the pre-drive checklist is the stuff I was just telling you, you know, your blinkers, pointing at where your wipers are, and your headlight buttons, and your defroster, so all that. So don't miss any of those, because that goes toward your grade. So once we left the parking lot, we didn't do anything too crazy. I didn't have to get on the freeway. We did go in residential areas, so make sure you're going 25 miles per hour in neighborhoods. Basically, the majority of the test, at least for me, it could be different for you depending on where your DMV is and depending on what route they take you on, because there's a lot of different routes that they take you on, I'm pretty sure. Is it route, tomato, potato, whatever. Okay, the majority of my test was turning at intersections, you know, stopping before the crosswalk, obviously, stopping before the stop sign, you know, the limit line. You don't want to go past any lines. You don't want to go into the crosswalk. You don't want to pass any stop sign lines, and if there's not a stop sign line, you know, on the floor, you want to stop before the actual physical stop sign that's, you know, on the sidewalk. So that's a good tip. One thing I did have to do was, I believe we did it in a neighborhood. She had me pull up to a curb, and you don't want to pull up too close because you cannot hit the curb. If you hit the curb, you fail automatically. I was so worried about that because I had heard that that was one of the things people do in a driving test, is they have to pull up to a curb and back up like 3 car lengths or something. And I did have to back up quite a bit because she told me when to stop. She just said, you know, back up slow, don't hit the curb, and I'll tell you when to stop. And I'm like, okay. What else? Everything was pretty straightforward. I got 3 errors out of the 15 I can get wrong. 2 of them were for deacceleration and / braking. The other one was for speed. So at the very end of the test, you pull back into the DMV parking lot and you actually pull into a parking spot that has like yellow lines on the floor, and it says specifically, there's a sign like in front of the spot on the wall, like, you know, this is the end of your driving test spot, something like that. So you wanna make sure you're in the lines of that parking spot. At the very end, she goes over with you your errors. So she told me I took a couple corners a little fast when I turned, and I think at one of the stop signs or just traffic lights, I stopped too abruptly, like it was a hard stop. When she said that, I did remember in my mind, oh, I do remember stopping hard at that intersection, and I do remember taking that turn fast. So a tip for you is to take your turn slow, stop slowly anywhere you go, because you can't be marked off for being cautious. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're driving on the street going too slow, you're gonna be marked off for not obeying the speed limit, right? But when you're taking turns and everything, make sure you're steady, you're not moving your wheel a lot, because you want your examiner to feel safe in your car. I think that's pretty much it, but I'll show you guys my score sheet so you can see what it says, what it looks like. So as you can see here, there's the pre-drive checklist. There's some things on there that she didn't have me point to or show to her specifically, like, you know, the driver window or the glove box. I'm assuming that's because, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory, those things, you know, and obviously I put down the driver window because I was talking to her through the window, so things like that. Here you can just see all of the things that they score you on. As you can see, this third column right there, if they mark anywhere, like any of these zeros, that's where you get the error. Right at the end, there's a driving improvement checklist. So as you can see, she did mark, make smooth, safe stops. But if you read all of these, you know to do all of that. So that's pretty helpful. So overall, it went pretty good. I'm really glad I passed. That's like a really big relief, because, you know, I didn't want to have to reschedule an appointment and go again and be nervous all over again. I hope this video helped you. I'm trying to think of any more tips that I have. I tried to go as close to the speed limit as I could without going too far over or too far under. You know, you don't want to go too slow, don't want to go too fast. You do go slower, of course, than the speed limit says if there's cars in front of you. I believe it's like a 3-second delay. So say a car's right here at a lamp post, right? And you're, you know, back here somewhere. You want there to be a 3-second space in between you and that car. If you're here, you count 3 seconds before you get to the lamp post, if that makes sense. Usually how I think of it is, say if I'm going 30 miles an hour and the speed limit is 45, I'm going 30. I try to keep 3 car lengths in front of me, which I think is equal to that 3-second rule. That goes for, say if I was going 40 miles an hour, I would keep 4 car lengths in between me and the car in front of me. You know, say the speed limit was higher, like 50 or 55. I hope that wasn't confusing. I'm trying to word it good so you can understand. Yeah, so I guess that's it, everybody. I wish you good luck on your driving test if you're going for the first time. If you have any questions at all, maybe something I didn't address in this video, please leave it in the comments below, because we do answer all of our comments, or we try to at least. If we miss a comment, we always tell you guys. If we miss one of your comments, make sure you write it again and tell us, you know, oh hey, I don't think you saw this comment. Could you answer this question or whatever? So make sure you write a comment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate it. We post a variety of videos, so hopefully you'll enjoy them. I did post a vlog actually when I went to take my permit test. So if you're taking your permit test, you could go check out that video, and then you can come back to this video when you take your driving test. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.